Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today is going to be a different type of video. So we're going to talk about the 4 different Penelope cocktails pre-made for old fashions, 4 different flavors. And I've had 2, and I have opinions on those 2, but I have not tried these 2 right here. So the blackberry and the apple cinnamon I have not tried, so today will be my first time. Fresh cracks, I don't think it matters on these type of situations. But all you need is some ice. Well, luckily, the good people at ECOZY that sent me this big ice maker have sent me a smaller one. So I have both up here just so you can see the difference of size. Obviously, this is a much bigger version. It makes a lot more ice, but they are a little bit smaller. Boom. All right, a little frosty. I did not use distilled water. I used regular sink water, so not as clear, but that's also part of just being cold. But compared to so you can see the size difference. So these are supposed to be 2.5 inches, I believe. I'll read off all the stats in about 2 seconds. But I just kind of wanted to show you the different sizes of the actual balls. And I almost put myself in the eye with these hogs and the actual machines. But I did a whole review on the larger one. So if you want to go see that, I'll put that in the top of the description. I did a full-on review of just the machine. So definitely go check that out. A lot of you guys actually liked that video. But we're going to talk more about the smaller version today. All right, before we get into the cocktails, let me just talk about the ice maker real quick, because there is a discount code for this. So if you're looking into an ice maker, I 100% enjoy this one significantly more than the bigger version. And again, you can watch the whole review on that one. I did like it, but for a regular, we don't make a lot of cocktails in this house, and that one was just a little bit too big for what we use it for. So if you use a lot of cocktails or own a bar or restaurant, that 100% might be the way to go. But if you have like a regular bar, like a house bar, and you don't use a lot of cocktails, I think this might be the better option. And this is the 2.4 inch ECOZY Vaultico 1 plus clear sphere ice maker. Don't worry, all this stuff will be in the description, so you can check it out. And there'll be a link for both of these. And I know for sure the discount code will work for this. This one, I don't know about the other one. The other one did have a discount code at a certain point, so I'm not sure if it's still valid, but this one is a little bit easier to use. The other one, you had to put the water in but basically where down here. But this one, you fill it up from the top, which is a little more convenient, but I will say that there is a little bit of a con to that, where if you had this under a cabinet, like overhead storage, you might have to push this out, pour it in there. That's kind of what I had to do, unless I kept it here, which I might actually have it. I might place it here on the Blanton's barrel, because there's an outlet right there, and I think it would be perfect there. But I do like filling it up from the top. It is a significant improvement, I think, on the older version. This one has a timer on here. So say you want your ice being made later, but you go to work, and you want the ice being made like when you come home from work. So you can actually set this timer for like an hour from now, 2 hours from now, 8 hours from now, and that's when it'll start making the ice. It makes one 2.4 inch clear ice ball about every 40 minutes. So, this thing right here, I'll grab this at the probably detriment of myself, but there you go. That's basically a full one. There are 7 in there currently right now. Hopefully I didn't mess up the camera too much by just grabbing it, but right now there's 7. I have gone through this a couple times. The balls get clearer, and just like the other version, there is a little hole on the side here, and that's kind of how they make the mold, but that's pretty clear. I do like that. I like the size. Another thing I'll say about the size, me, I like to be very honest with you guys. The size is perfect for when you're using glasses like this with a big top. But if you have these rocks glasses like this, the other option is going to be better for you because it'll fit. I haven't tried this, but I'm going to think it's not going to fit. Yeah, it's too big for these types of glasses, but that's fine. If I do a cocktail, it's most likely it'll be in a regular rocks glass anyways. But just to let you know, it is a little bit too big for these types of glasses. So again, maybe a little con, but I do like this This has a lot more pros than cons. Between just that the ice balls might be a little bit too big, and you might have to move it depending on the location, but it is easier to fill up. It makes about 7, I think you could probably fit 8 in here before it will say it's full. I like this one because actually when it's going, actually maybe I'll put it on right now. So I put it on, so obviously it could fit more because it's not saying it's full, but eventually what's gonna have here is it's gonna have the little rectangle, but then it's gonna have a timer. It's gonna have a drop down timer so you know when it's gonna be ready. So I'm just kind of looking to see if it's gonna pop up, but while that's doing that and hopefully it pops up, I'll explain to you. Now it does have a fan, and that's probably getting on the mic, so probably a bad idea what I just did. The one other thing I want to make sure to talk about it, just like in the larger version, it came with a TDS meter, which is amazing. This is how you can test the water to make sure that it's pure. So in this batch, I did use distilled water, but if you want to test your own sink water, tap water, to just kind of see how it is, they recommend, I think, under 200 TDS, whatever it reads, right? To make it more clear. Now, if you just want ice balls that necessarily don't have to be clear, because the difference between them, and I'll show you. So this is from a batch with just sink water, which my sink water is not under that 200, but so it's just cloudy compared to the other one I was just showing you before, but it's still a good piece of ice. It just, just not as clear. So that's the biggest thing. If you want that clear, definitely use boiled water or purified water, distilled water, and they come with the tester to test them. There you go. Now you see the timer, it says like 31 minutes up there, and it's counting down, so you know when it's going to be done. And then there's a little image that's gonna pop up with like a little ice kind of falling, and you have to wait a couple minutes and you'll hear the ice fall into the basket. So that's the ECOZY ice maker. I actually really do like this, so go definitely check it out. It'll be in the description. There is a discount code. It's like CARLOS77. You put that at the end when you're buying it from Amazon. So if you're looking at the ice maker, I do recommend this one. It makes decent sized ice. You can have a few ready for you. It gives you a little tray thing. I've been collecting these I've been testing these for like 2 weeks now against each other. And I've just been keep putting all the made ice into the freezer, so I have plenty of ice for the future. So let's get into the Penelope review. And all we need is some ice. Come here, ice. I'm gonna do an exact pour because I might add other whiskey to this just to make it stronger, because I feel like after trying some of these in the past, I kind of know that that's needed. I'm gonna put 2 ounces. That might have been too much. That was only 1.5. This glass is just too small. All right, so we're gonna do the Peach Old Fashioned. This is the first one that came out, I believe, because this is the one I feel like came out first. So let's try this out. So I was drinking this and I was like, man, that does taste like an old fashioned. To me, it doesn't have a lot of the peach influence, but it is super sweet. So I was like, oh, let me read the back of this. So on the back of it, it does say it's made with straight bourbon, rye whiskey, farm sourced, 100% pure maple syrup. And I feel like that's where a lot of sweetness is coming from. Peach bitters. It is very sweet, I will say that. It's very thick on the palate. There is, obviously you get a little bit of peach. You get some red fruit as well. It's not bad. I think it might be too sweet for a lot of people, but if you like a sweeter old fashioned that you don't have to put too much effort into it, I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty much done there. You get a little bit of peach in there. It's very thick. So one thing I want to do is, because of the thickness of the sweetness, and the peach is 40%. So these are either 40% or 38% alcohol by volume, so not strong. So some of it's like a little bit stronger cocktails. So I grabbed a Penelope barrel strength because most of us have whiskey at home. So let's just see how it is with a little bit more whiskey into it. So just putting 1/2 ounce, give a little stir. That's as much work I want to do with my cocktails. It's adding whiskey to pre-made cocktail stuff. Now let's see how it tastes with a little bit more kick to it. As I assumed, it is significantly better. It cuts a lot of that thickness out in sweetness, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping that it gave it a little bit more, kind of kicked out a lot of that sweetness. It was just a little bit too sweet on the peach one. It did kind of give a little banana note. I'm sure that's just from the actual whiskey, but overall decent. Now that has a little bit more of a kick to it. And that's the beautiful thing of this. This basically sets you up for just adding a little bit more whiskey to make it really good. And I think that's the key to going to be a lot of these. And I doubt I'm going to like either one of these four more without the whiskey added to it. Additional whiskey added to it. We'll find out. Let's prepare the next one. Not gonna lie to you, I for some reason thought I was gonna do this all in one glass, and that's not gonna happen, so I went and grabbed some more. So we did the peach one. So let's do one I haven't tried yet. This apple cinnamon old fashioned. I mean, I can feel the sugars around the top of it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's literally like sugar. I can chew the sugar. Grab an ice bowl. Oh, I didn't measure. Hold on. I only put a little bit. Forgetting my own rules here. Okay, put a little bit less. Only reason I'm measuring is because I'm adding the barrel strength to it, and I'm trying to keep it the same. All right, so this is the apple cinnamon old fashioned. Is this also with maple syrup? Let's see. Apple cinnamon bitters in simple syrup. It does say straight bourbon and rye whiskey. So it doesn't say the honey one. So I wonder if this is gonna be not as sweet. Let's check this one out. All right, this is not that bad. It definitely gives me a lot of fall notes to it, which, you know, I'm drinking this in July, basically almost August. So not perfect for maybe this time of frame, but these have come out like throughout the year. This 100% can see it being a nice fall time cocktail. It's a very apple cinnamon like pie. It's not as thick as the peach one. I don't know if any of these are going to be as thick as that because I'm maple syrup. It's just a good cocktail. It tastes like fall. It does have a little bit of a Windexy note that I'm not the biggest fan of, but let's see if I get that on the second sip. It's still pretty sweet. The finish is what I think my favorite part is. It's that apple cinnamony, apple pie with cinnamon, like crust on it. That is really good. The palate is not 100% there, but the finish is really good. So let's see what some extra whiskey does to it. This is my favorite part. All right, let's see how this one is. I just took 2 sips. The first sip, I was like, I don't know if that improves it or not. I feel like it kind of like kept it the same. But the second sip kind of, I thought it improved it. But I will say, is not as apple cinnamon forward. So if you're looking for that, and you know, you probably are if you're buying this, I think that adding whiskey kind of mutes it a lot more than it did with the peach one. So maybe it's something that maybe you have to figure out which whiskey, if you want a little bit more kick, what whiskey to put in there so it's not muting that apple cinnamon. But maybe you like that. Maybe you like it where it's a little bit more or a little bit less of that apple cinnamon note, because it is strong on the finish. Overall, I do like this, especially for fall. So let's go to the next one. The Bourbon on the Banks glass, which I'm going to get this year. So if you're going, definitely let me know. We can hang out because I'll be there. Now this is the one that I've also had, and I really enjoy this one. Let's see what this one says. Made with straight bourbon and rye whiskeys, walnut bitters, and vanilla demerara. They're all a little bit different besides actual the flavors, kind of like how they're sweetening is a little bit different. The flavors are really nice here, really nice. I really like that black walnut bitter note. And sometimes when I do my own old fashions, that's what I use as my bitter. I think it's almost to that peach one though, where it's very thick and sugary and sweet, but I like the notes on it better than the peach one. I think this one's gonna be really good with some added whiskey because I think it's gonna cut that sweetness down. But let's try a second sip. Yeah, I do like this one. Trying to see, because I'm kind of putting them in. I'm not really scoring them today, but I do think I like the walnut one better as like kind of a year-round drinker. The fall time is definitely the apple cinnamon one, but year-round I think I would like this one better. But let's add some whiskey to it. I mean, I feel like a real Bartista today in this video. Okay, let's try it with some added whiskey. I mean, to me this is pretty much an old-fashioned. When I order an old-fashioned, I'm hoping tastes like this. This is a really good one with some extra whiskey to it to cut down that sugar. 100% I think by itself is a little bit too sweet, too thick, but with some extra sugar to it, I think it just cuts that out and it's still very, very good. I do love that walnut bitter. It's something I haven't even said. You know, obviously if you want to garnish this, throw a cherry in here, orange peel, stuff like that. I'm not going to do that today because I feel like it might influence the whiskey a little bit too much or the cocktails too much, but that's how I would do it. I'd put Luxardo cherry in here and I would do a twist of orange peel, spritz it around, gets that orange essence, and, you know, kind of put it on top. And that's how I would drink it. That's how I would drink my cocktail. So I'm gonna try this one more time because I do enjoy this a lot. I mean, that's so good. I really like that one. All right, let's go to the last one. I'm gonna go right out. Am I gonna drink all of these after this video? Maybe. I'm definitely drinking that one though. Right, another piece of ice. Come here, ice cubes. Oh, this one looks dark. So this one is a blackberry old fashioned. I have not had this yet. I think it was just dark because it was in the a little jigger here. Okay, so this one says straight bourbon and rye whiskey, orange bitters. I like that. Blackberry simple syrup. Interesting. And all of these say they make 12 cocktails, served on the rocks or chilled. Let's try this one. Man, I really want to love this, but there's a note here that's kind of bringing it down. So I'll tell you what the note's bringing me down. Like furniture polish. Like I said Windex earlier, not furniture polish. Apparently I clean a lot as a kid. But besides that note, that blackberry note to it gave it a nice fruit profile overall. The orange bitters definitely give it some of that citrus. I really like that if I'm not getting the cleaning product. But overall, this is head to head with the walnut one. I do enjoy this a lot. Let me try it one more time. The cleaning note's still there, a little bit less I would say. But the other notes, the fruits, that is good. It's not overly sweet. Again, all of these have been pretty sweet to different degrees. It is sweet. The peach one though, that is just on a whole different level. That's gotta be, the peach one's my least favorite because I think it's just too sweet and too thick. But this one's actually really good. I like this one too. Let's add some whiskey to it. I've never tried this one, so this one's a pleasant surprise. All right, let's try it with some whiskey. All right, this one improves a lot more with the whiskey because it kind of removes that wood polish note that I was getting. This might be my favorite one after adding some more bourbon to it. I think without adding bourbon to it, I think the walnut one is probably my favorite. So if you just want to, actually these two are a little bit less proof. They're 38%, 238%. These are both 40 over here. Yeah, I like that a lot with some extra bourbon in it. It definitely takes away that cleaning product note, which I did not like so much. But you're still getting some of that blackberry and citrus notes. Delicious. All right, so my winner, I guess, without adding anything besides some ice to it, thank you, ECOZY, is the walnut one. And I think it would be kind of like a tie between the blackberry and the apple cinnamon, only because I think the apple cinnamon would be so good in the fall. But I think the blackberry one would be just like the walnut one where you can drink it all year round and it'd be really good. But with a bourbon to it or rye, I just chose to do the this is 4 grain, so it definitely has rye in it. Yeah, it says corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley. And this one is 115.8 proof, so give it a little bit extra kick for sure. I definitely like these two with the added whiskey a little bit more. I think the peach one, for me, way too sweet. I think it's almost too thick on the mouthfeel because of that maple syrup. But these other 3 all kind of have like a place and I can enjoy them. That's today. Again, if you've been looking into an ice maker machine, this one right here, check it out in the description. It is something I could recommend. It takes up a lot less space than traditional ice makers. It makes 2.4 inch ice balls, which is a significant ice ball, so they melt less. As you can see, they are, you can still see them all in the glasses, which is fantastic. It's not very noisy. It's kind of a little bit of a fan when it's working, but it's on right now. It's not making any noise. And I really like this. This is something that I can say that I recommend. Thank you, ECOZY, for sending this out. And they have reached out to me about some other things, so we'll see. I appreciate them. I appreciate them sending out. And if you're still here watching, I appreciate you watching. If you had any of these Penelope, we're doing a giveaway because I can send these. Why not, right? Never said these pre-made cocktails, but we do giveaways here, and why not? I'll send them out. If you want to try all 4 of these at your house, I'll do 2-ounce samples of each of them, all 4. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with, let's do ECOZY CT, all one word. So ECOZY-CT. The CT is for cocktail, not for the state that I'm from. But let's put some ECOZY comments in there. ECOZY CT, that's the 2-ounce samples. Man, I did 2 videos in a row. I recorded these other Monday's video before this video, and I did the same thing. I forgot it towards the end, so I'm slipping here. But like I was saying, if you've had these, what's your favorite? And 1, do you drink cocktails at home? And if you do you make them yourselves? Please tell me your cocktails. One of the things that got me into the whole, bourbon world, now that I have 2,000 bottles around here, was cocktails. Actually, cocktails were the things that got me into the drinking bourbon neat. I don't really drink cocktails that much anymore, but that's what kind of got me watching SLB back in the day, when Kurt was out there in his apron just making cocktails, and Trenton was just a whiny little voice behind the camera. If you guys don't know my relationship with Trenton, I apologize. You should, if you're watching this channel. But I was watching Kurt making cocktails back in the day, and that's how I kind of got myself in this whole whiskey YouTube world, was me making cocktails and learning from Kurt and other YouTubers out there on cocktails. So cocktails will always have a place in my heart. When I go to a bar and there's like a cocktail bar, I always buy cocktails, and Old Fashioned is definitely one of my go-to cocktails, especially when it's like a smaller bar situation where they don't really have any good whiskey, they don't really have any good beer, but they, for some reason, make good Old Fashions. I don't know. Is that really a thing? I don't know. Either way, thank you for being here. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.